San Jose Deli Arana.
Good morning, Hoseans. Welcome to our reading and writing class. I am Melody Dumalilis, your English teacher. Today, we are going to learn the unique features and requirements in composing professional correspondence. It is my hope that after watching this video, you can distinguish the unique features of professional correspondence and write a good resume and cover letter. Join me as we discover our lesson. Among the professional correspondence that may be required of you to submit is a cover letter where your resume is attached. As you advance to your internship in grade 12 or probably apply for a job, you will most likely be asked by the organization or company you are applying to write professional correspondence. What is a professional correspondence? Professional correspondence is communication between two or more parties through professional writing of letters and emails. This reflects your level of competency. What are the general rules that should be observed in writing professional correspondence? First, it should be in business format. Your letter should be appropriately formatted, addressed, spaced, and written. It means that specific important information is present in your letters, such as contact information and current date. This also pertains to the page setup having a proper margin of the document, usually 1 inch on all sides. In addition, appropriate fonts like Times New Roman and Arial in 11 or 12 font size and black ink are to be used. Second, it should be written in plain business English. This means use of abbreviation, jargon, and slang should be avoided. Third, it must be encoded, not handwritten. If you want to be taken seriously, your written correspondence should be typed. The only part of your letter that should be handwritten is your signature. Also, a typed correspondence looks neater and more professional, no matter how legible your handwriting is. Fourth, typically, your cover letter and resume should be printed in letter size, white paper, and prepared with the same font size and type. And the fifth, remember that this letter is your marketing tool. Use action verbs to narrate and describe important information on your written correspondence. This will help in making your letter interesting to read. As a senior high school student, do you dream of studying in any prestigious colleges in the country or abroad? If so, you need to learn how to write effective application letter. Submission of application letter is a vital part of the admission process in any colleges or universities. The admissions committee evaluates you as a student through your application letter because these reflect yourself and your ability to organize information and generate creative ideas. For this reason, you must know how to write a well-written application letter. The first type of professional correspondence is the college application letter. What is a college application letter? This is a letter given to the admission department of a university together with the other requirements asked by them. This is an essay that aims to convince the admissions committee to accept you as a student in their university. Let's see an example of application letter. Let us focus on its content. For the introduction, introduce yourself and state the reasons why you are applying to the school, and highlight some of the characteristics you admire about them. Next, take a look at the body. This explains further why the school needs to accept you in their institution. Include your achievements, extracurricular activities, and community involvement. And lastly is the conclusion. State your desire to be accepted in their college. Mention the important documents you have attached, and do not forget to say thank you. After finishing school, applying for a job is the next step in becoming a true adult. This is the time to venture into the real world and put into practice the things you have learned from school. Before you become part of a workforce, you will go through the usual process of finding a job. A part of this process requires you to send your impressive resume to companies you are interested to work in. These companies then read and evaluate your resume and call you for an interview. But that will only happen if your resume is impressive. What makes your resume impressive? There are unique features of a resume. So what are these? In writing a resume, you must consider the following areas as its distinguishing features. The first is the format. There is a standard format that you can use but may deviate from it depending on how you would like to design your resume. The most common and the most widely used is the reverse chronological resume. This format lists your information beginning with the most recent and then going backward. Also, it lists the most important section to the list. The second feature is its components. The important components of a resume are your name, contact details, objective, work experience, education, and achievements. You may also add the seminars that you attended, your affiliations, and your character reference, among others. Now that you know the unique features of a resume, let's continue learning its part. First, be certain in writing your contact information. This is used as the heading of the resume that details your full name, contact number, and email address. Make sure that the email address that you put is one that is professional looking. Now, be specific with your objective. It should be a 1 or 2 sentences stating the type of work you are applying for. Writing a resume's objective is optional, as it takes space in your paper and for some deems it to be outdated. Third, be clear with your education. It details the name of the schools you have attended, degrees finished, and the year you have completed your studies. Next is your work experience. This is considered the meat of our resume. This is where you tell your career history, job title, company name, and years worked. Further, be sure to include your license and certificates. Do not forget to put in the licenses and certificates that you earned, especially if they are related to the field you are applying for. This will increase your eligibility to get the job. Another part of your resume is your proficiencies and skills. This list includes the skills that may be related to the job, like technical, computer, and communication skills. Use action statement to describe these and quantify whenever possible. Also, do not forget your organizational affiliation. This portion of a resume reflects your well-roundedness and your ability to be a team player. This is where you include your involvement in professional associations, student government, clubs, or community activities. And lastly, references. This is a list of people and their contact numbers who will vouch for your credibility and competency. Writing 3 references is the minimum. Note that your references should not be related to you by blood. They should be someone you trust and knows you well professionally. Usually, it can be your mentor, your former teacher, a colleague, or someone in your community. Just make sure that you have asked their permission before including them as your references. It was mentioned earlier that work experience is the meat of your resume. Most companies choose to hire an experienced applicant over the no work experience one. If you are a fresh graduate from senior high school and from university who do not have work experience, worry not. Expanding your educational background is likely your strongest job qualification. This is by mentioning any student committees you were part of and any scholarships, awards, or honors you were awarded. Let us proceed to the third type of correspondence, the cover letter. A cover letter, also known as application letter, is a one-page business document that is typically submitted along with a resume as part of the job application process. A cover letter provides you with a chance to point out your strength and to make a strong case for your qualifications. Take note that the purpose of cover letter is to supplement the information you have written in your resume, not repeat information that the resume contains. Let's take a look at the characteristics of a good cover letter. First, a cover letter is short. It should not exceed 1 page because it only gives a view of your resume. Second, a good cover letter is comprehensive. Comprehensive in a sense that your cover letter should contain a complete information that represents your skills and abilities. It should be easily understood and should be straight to the point. The third characteristics of a cover letter is a good cover letter should be relevant. Write down only the things that are relevant to the position you are applying for. And the last, a good communication letter must be specific. You should be specific about the location and the position you are applying for. Here are the things to keep in mind when writing the body of your cover letter. Your cover letter should look this way. For paragraph 1, which is your opening paragraph, you give the reason as to why you are writing. Mention the name of the company or institution and the particular job you are applying for. State also how you found out about the position. Did you find it in a newspaper or someone you know informed you of the opening? Briefly discuss your interest from the job. For your middle paragraph, discuss or explain why you are interested in working for this company and describe how you are qualified for this position. Whenever possible, tell meaningful anecdotes that tie your skills to concrete problem-solving activities or tangible results you've worked on in your career. It is very easy that a candidate say they possess a desirable skill. To make an impact, you need to show the hiring managers examples of your skills in action. Let us study the given example. Which example gives a better impact? Notice that example 2 gives a concrete example compared to example 1, which is a very generic answer. For your closing paragraph, talk about your availability for the job where you can be contacted and when you may be contacted by the hiring person in charge for an appointment to discuss your application. Indicate your anticipation for a response. Request to meet with the employer for an interview at his or her convenience. And lastly, the very essential, do not forget to thank the employer for his or her time and consideration. To sum it up, you learned the 3 types of professional correspondence, namely college application letter, resume, and cover letter. You also learned the general rules in writing them. Lastly, you were familiarized to their structure and content. As a senior high school student, knowing the features of these letters is a very significant skill that you need to master for a successful job application in the future. And that concludes our discussion for today. Thank you and God bless.